Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the video series where my friend Dev and I go over the events of each chapter of Konjiki no Gash 2, which is the sequel to Konjiki no Gash, or Zatch Bell. So this would be Zatch Bell 2. And this is chapter 11 that we will be summarizing and discussing. And if you watched episode 10, you'll already know this, but just in case this is the first episode you're listening to or watching, well, firstly, hi. We have a playlist of all the other episodes we've done so far for this. And secondly, this is a re-recording of the original episode 11 that we had recorded a long time ago. I don't know what happened. There was just a recording mishap, and a few episodes in our season 2 videos did not record my end of the audio. And so as a result, Dev and I have had to re-record episodes 10, 11, and 11.5, which would be the volume 2 or the season 2 intermission. So this is a re-recording, so just in case there's anything we talk about during this episode that doesn't quite line up with things we were talking about in the previous episodes, in terms of whenever we would say at the time of recording so and so many, or so and so chapters have come out already or whatever. So in case we pull one of those during this episode, the number is not going to match what it was in episode 9 when we mentioned that. So I just want to clear that up in case there's any confusion or anything with our references, or if there's any thing we brought up in a previous episode that we aren't actually bringing up in this episode or something. It's because it's been months and months and months since we recorded the beginning episodes of this season, and now we're several months later recording the second half for a second time. So
yeah, whatever we said in the original chapter 11 episode, that is basically lost media. I don't even remember what I said either, so we're technically going into this chapter fresh once again. So
yeah, so we're all experiencing chapter 11 for the first time again.
Yeah, we haven't been keeping up with the sequel lately, so it is what it is.
But yeah, so I just wanted to, clarify and preface that and everything, that this is a re-recording and not, it does not line up timeline-wise with when we recorded episodes, 8 and 9 and so on.
Yeah, so, but anyways, I believe last chapter ended on Levi going full actual beast mode, and so
yes.
We're about to find out what even happens from here. How are we even going to deal with this? So things look pretty gnarly, so I think we should, I think it's time for us to check things out.
Let's do it.
A little summary. So here is your summary for Chapter 11. The chapter picks up right where Chapter 10 had left off, with Levi having transformed into a large beast with a tail due to Hanage-boo channeling the spell power from one of the spell bottles he had broken. Levi lets out a huge roar, Fulgori is crying and sweating, Kanchime is also sweating nervously, and Hanage-boo shouts out to Levi that she only has 50 seconds, so she has to make them count. Similarly to Gil, Hanage-boo begins making a bunch of complex hand gestures while chanting for the power to gather into Levi's legs to let her propel forward, then casts Tsutoyu Oi. Levi lunges fast and hard across a long distance, aiming directly at Kanchime and Fulgore. Fulgore grabs Kanchime to try and move him a little out of the way, but he still gets hit a little bit by Levi as she crashes into him, knocking him and Fulgore to the ground. Hanage-boo raises his arm, and light spirals around it, circling around his hand with spikes of light coming out of the ring. He incants for the bestial power to gather in Levi's arms, so that her claws can tear through stone. He casts Jiri-O, and Levi's claws enlarge and reinforce with stone. She's about to attack with them when a man yelling Fulgore's name drives the car directly into Levi's body. Fulgore exclaims excitedly that is the car he had asked for earlier on when Gozer had first attacked them at the hospital. Levi gets her footing and stops the car from moving, then uses her empowered claws to slash at the car, toppling it over and knocking it out of the way. Fulgore is sobbing as he questions in shock that even the car didn't work. Kanchime cries as he watches this, thinking to himself about how it's all over, that he and Fulgore can't beat something like that. But then, his memory flashes to Consomme, his dad, mom, and older brother, and as Levy lunges at Consomme, he thinks that still, he has to win this battle, no matter what. As he thinks this, he moves his arms and hands, and just as Levy pounds into the ground, Gozer has carried Fulgore out of the way, and Hylos has also carried Consomme out of the way, dodging Levy's attack. Levy doesn't understand what had just happened, but as Consomme looks at Gozer carrying Fulgore away and up at Hylos carrying him, he states that he finally gets it. He knows what Moparuku's power is. He then lands back to the ground and raises his hand, calling Hylos' name. He reaches out his hand, and Hylos' Consomme feet turn back into his bird talons. Hylos grabs Levy and begins lifting her up off the ground, but Levy wraps her tail around the nearby tree to prevent Hylos from taking her into the sky. Consomme tells Fulgore to put more heart energy into the spell, and Fulgore, taking the book out from under his shirt, places his hand on the pages, putting more of his power into Consomme's spell. Hylos flaps his wings harder and harder, and the tree begins pulling up from beneath the ground until Hylos manages to lift Levy and the tree she had wrapped her tail around. Hanagebu moves his hands around, and characters of light appear before him as he incants for fangs of the three-headed serpent tails to strike down their prey, and he casts Fai Su Sangha. The tip of Levy's tail splits off into 3 heads with mouths of sharp teeth, and she uses them to break free of Hylos' grip, and then sends them after Fulgore. Consomme tells Fulgore that they need more heart energy, and internally, Consomme yells go, and Fulgore imbues more power into the book, and Gozer charges at Hanagebu, who is surprised to see Gozer is coming after him. This disrupts the spell, and Consomme and Fulgore narrowly miss the tail heads as they crash into the ground beside them. So, very action-packed stuff so far.
Literally.
Yeah, like, oh my goodness. So, going back right to the beginning, can I just say, the first page, I love the way that the chapter just starts out. Once again, showing Levy's really, really cool transformation. But I love that one panel of Fulgore here with that expression he has. He's really out here like, man, things cannot possibly get worse, but yet it sure did. Like, he's more flabbergasted than anything, honestly. Like, he is definitely me. But aside from that, going into the actual fight itself, like, I was already noticing some differences between the way Hanagebu is doing his sorcery compared to Gil's way. Like, how Gil seemed to do it was that he appeared to just create these symbols out of fire that correlate to whatever attack Wag was about to do, but here it looks like Hanagebu is actually, like, writing out these characters for the attacks, and on one of the panels, too, it looks especially detailed with how he has this one big character written out. Then we see him creating this, like, claw shape with his hand, and in between the points of that, there's also smaller characters there, too, which, like, I hadn't noticed during my first read through, and it's really, really cool. Like, I'm not sure if some of these are real characters or made up. It's a little bit hard for me to tell, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they're readable. But either way, I just really like all the little details going on here with how he's doing his sorcery thing here.
Yeah, no, like, the mechanics of just this whole, like, you know, spell bottle breaking and putting the power into someone, and all of it is just, like, so... It's just so interesting to me, and it's like the way that they, like, incant these various spells with it still and everything, and the spells, I mean, like, they just sound so unlike the spells we would hear in, like, from the spell books and everything.
Yeah,
but they
absolutely.
are still spells, and it's like, and it also when Hanagebu is like, you've got 50 seconds, like, I thought that was so interesting too, because, like, similarly to with Gil and Wag, how they had like 45 seconds or something, this like time limit element to it is also just really interesting. And again, I'm just like, how are they able to quantify, like, just internally, they just like know, like, okay, you've got 50 seconds, like, where is that number coming from? Like, where are they, like, how do they know how many seconds they have to do this? But at the same time, thinking about all of these different panels of action and everything, thinking about all of that happening within 50 seconds is crazy. Like, I that's so quick. Like, this is all less than a minute in real time.
Yeah. Yeah, I said, like, pretty much the same thing, too, back when we were going through, like, the whole Firewag fight. Like, so much is happening in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, you really don't notice just how fast this is all supposed to be, because, you know, you're going through all these different panels and, like, processing what's happening in each of them, so it's just crazy. It's very chaotic.
Yeah.
Speaking of chaotic, immediately after, you know, Hanagebu gives Levi those stone claws, we then see her immediately get hit by that car that Fulgore had been asking for 2 chapters. Like, that caught me so off guard.
It's so funny too, because like when you're reading these like with their monthly releases and everything, you kind of forget about like this sort of thing. So when I was reading this chapter, I was like, oh my god, like that's so crazy. Someone just like decided to randomly like try and help out Fulgore with a car and everything. And then like it wasn't until like a reread where I'm reading them back to back, you know, with the intended pace and order and everything that Raikou is writing these all with and everything. And it's like the fact that Fulgore is asking people for like to hit it with a car or whatever, like a few chapters ago, is like it's just so cool to see that like Raikou is setting things up that doesn't happen until like chapters later. And it's like it's not until a reread that you really get to see it all play out with like the pace that he intends it to be, because it kind of gets disrupted with how we read it on the monthly release and everything. And so it's just like, it's just really cool that he is setting things up like this that don't get payoff until a few chapters down the road, that we kind of almost forget that they were even being set up in the first place. But like when you remember that they were being set up, it just feels so like complete with how it plays out.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh God, it was just so cool.
Again, I just love Fulgore's expression. Just seeing, you know, happy to see that car show up, but as soon as it gets, like, tossed away like nothing, he's again like, God fucking damn it.
I know. Like, and the fact, too, that someone is even brave enough to get in a car and, like, involve themselves with this, too. Like, I, for one, would not. Like, I'm sorry, like, Fulgore, love you, love your music, I love 00F or whatever it's called, but, like, I'm not gonna get in a van and ram into this, like, rock bear antelope snake thing for you. Like, I'm sorry, like
that was the real hero of this series, honestly. Like, Fulgore has stans and it shows.
Seriously, like, to be that much of a fan of him that like this guy is yelling Fulgore's name as he rams into Levi, like
this guy's like, now's my chance.
I know, like that's just crazy. Like I mean I can believe it, I guess, with how big of fans like people are of like, you know, real life celebrities and everything. I guess there are people who are that devoted, but just like it's just I would never, like I could not do that.
Would you guys do this for Fulgore? Let us know in the comments. But oh my goodness, aside from all that, like
oh, it's an ambulance. Sorry, I'm so sorry to cut you off. I didn't realize it's an ambulance, because you can see the little plus sign on the side of it.
I didn't even notice.
So this guy like hijacked no, actually he's also, because he's wearing a medical thing too.
I'm like zooming in. I'm just noticing this.
I'm like, this was not in the last episode 11, that's for sure. I never noticed. So this guy is like a medical, he like works at the hospital and he is helping Fulgore. He's ramming an ambulance into Levi. I thought it was just some like guy who just took a van and going.
I thought it was some random.
Oh my god, that's so funny. So now it's like a medic, and he's like Oh, okay, wow. That just adds a little extra layer to this, and I love it so much.
Yeah. The details here.
Seriously, I never noticed that until now.
We're finally appreciating it. We're finally appreciating it.
Seriously, I never noticed that until now, and I've reread this chapter several times by this point. Like, I never clocked that. That is so funny.
Iconic as hell. Like you said, this was not in the original episode 11, so...
Yeah. So this version of the episode is already better.
The definitive edition, honestly.
Yeah. Literally.
But oh my goodness. Car shenanigans aside, On these pages where we first see how Conchime is able to control Gozer and Hylos, like,
Yes.
that was such a surprise, because I honestly didn't expect for there to be so much more to Moparuku, especially this extra ability where he's now able to control those who he had transformed.
Yeah,
like,
and control what stage of transformation they have. Like, the way he's able to bring Hylos' talons back. Like, this is such a layered spell. Like, it
really
wasn't just, it wasn't just, like, he turns them into, like, lookalikes to him that, like, makes them docile or whatever. It's like, oh, no, now he can also actually control their movement. Like, I'm sorry? Like, he is so... Kanchome is so powerful. Like, it's crazy how powerful his spell, like, he's a mastermind, and it's like, you look at this guy, especially with how he looked in, like, in the first series and everything, and you're like, him? Like, but, like, him.
Yeah, him. He is the guy.
It's crazy.
Like you said, like, the way he's able to manipulate their transformations like this, like, it's crazy. And, like, also, like, the way that we see Levi being pulled up and her grabbing onto the tree with her tail and just watching Hylos just pull, and then to see, like, Hylos be able to successfully pull her and the tree up as soon as Fulgore puts in more power. Like, this is such an unbelievably powerful ability. And, like, initially, I had some major worries about how Conchime would even be able to handle Levi like this, because, you know, just looking at him and then looking at Levi, you know, this giant beast monster, you know, it doesn't look like the odds are in Conchume's favor, but, like, it's seriously so cool just seeing how he's able to, like, hold his own. And he had been worried too initially about how hard, you know, his spells could be to figure out sometimes. And it's just crazy. I like all the action going on is just so exciting. Like, this was such a hype chapter already.
Yeah, and also too, like, for Kanchime to even, like, when he swipes his hands and it, like, and then the Gozer Hylos, like, save Fulgore and Kanchime, for just that instance, for Kanchime to be like, now I get it. Like, for him to all of a sudden piece everything else together, like, I would have been confused as hell. I would have been like, what just happened? How did I do that? How do I do it again? But, like, that's all it takes for him to, like, piece all the pieces together and actually figure out the entirety of what his spell is capable of. I'm just like, he is a genius. Like, it's so cool to see, because, like, I feel like so many people, myself included, would constantly just, like, write off Kanchime as, like, he doesn't have this kind of power. Like, he's not that strong. He's just, like, the humor of the series and everything. He's just, like for the comedic, you know, relief and everything. And then it's like, then moments like this happen, and it's like, no, he's like one of the, like, most, like, powerful, like, masterminds in this battle. And it's just like, it's so crazy, because you would not expect that role to, like, be Kanchome's.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he quite literally is, like, one of the strongest characters in the entire series. No joke, no exaggeration.
Yeah. Like, he beat Gash when they fought against each other. Like, I feel like so many people, again, myself included, forgets that. Like, if that wasn't, like, I wouldn't say playful, because they were seriously fighting each other, but, like, if that wasn't, like, I guess, like, practice battle type
if it wasn't, like, a
situation,
controlled, like, fight in that
like,
sense.
If that battle was, like, to burn the book, like, Kanchime would have won.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so it's just, like, that's
Gash
just...
is cooked.
You literally, so it's just, like, that is who we're dealing with here. Like, that is what Kanchime is capable of, and it's just, like, oh my god, it's so cool to see. Like, it's insane.
Speaking of seeing things, like, could I also just say how scary a lot of Levi's attacks are? Like, when Levi was in his transformed state, like, he was scary in the sense that he's a lot bigger and on fire, but I wouldn't say his attacks looked scary. Like, these, like, here Levi's just shooting out all these, like, tendrils and shit out of her tail, and they all have mouths. Like, get that away from me. Holy fuck.
Like, her one mouthless tail was already enough. We don't need several tails that can also bite me. Like, we don't need that. Like, she's already, like, 50 feet tall now and, like, 7 different animals. We don't need that. And she's fast, too. Like, I don't need this.
I don't need this. No, seriously, I'm like, good God, there are, like, Konchime and Fulgori are really up against something here, like...
Oh,
Personally,
God,
if it were me there, I'd start crying, but, you know.
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, I would have left. I would have left the scene. I would not have stayed. Like I.
Oh my goodness! But yeah, things are very chaotic, very scary. But you know, things are turning around. You know, like Konchime is locked in with this extra ability of his. So why don't we find out how things progress from here?
Let's do it.
Alrighty, so Levi tuts some more and tells Hanagibu enough with these simple tricks and tells him to change all of her fingers into fanged tendrils as well as to keep maintaining control of the power that surrounds her. Hanagibu chants an elaborate incantation as he creates several circles of light before him, having written many small characters in each one. As her hands transform into fanged tendrils, just as she'd asked, Levi tells Hanagibu to stand back, letting him know that Konchime and Fulgori won't get near him as she overwhelms them with her absolute force. He casts Baotou Sudai, and the fanged and spiked tendrils from Levi's hands go after Fulgori and Konchime. Konchime raises his hand, and Hylos swoops in to grab him and Fulgori out of the way. In this moment, Hanagibu catches a glimpse of how Hylos' wings are flapping. Levi charges after Fulgori and Konchime, but Gozer leaps up to get in the way, hitting Levi. In this movement, Hanagibu again catches a glimpse of how Gozer's hind legs had moved. Hylos' feet kick Levi down to the ground, and she yells out. She curses at them and asks Hanagibu if there's any way for them to break Konchime's hold over Gozer and Hylos' minds. Hanagibu yells back at her, telling her that it's true that Gozer and Hylos are being controlled, but that this is not a brainwashing spell. As Fulgori lands on his feet, he thinks to himself about how this spell is different from the alter egos of Konchime's Dima Baruku spell, how each clone has a free will of its own, but that they're only equipped to follow simple instructions. He notes to himself that this time, however, it seems as though Konchime has complete control over both Gozer and Hylos. Levi yells at Hanagibu, asking if he expects her to believe that Konchime has the mental fortitude to control both beasts with his own brain, to which Hanagibu, as he's making more hand gestures, tells her that it's not likely, as he had caught glimpses of a few unnatural body movements. He tells Levi that she is right to be attacking as much as she can, and tells her to attack faster and not let up on Konchime. Konchime maneuvers Gozer and Hylos in front of him, and Fulgori as Levi leaps after them once more. Hanagibu exclaims that Konchime's power over Gozer and Hylos is a far cry from the snakes and fangs that protrude from Levi's body, as Konchime is trying to control two separate entities, each with their own minds, own set of 5 senses, and radically different body structures. As Gozer and Hylos attempt to fend off Levi's relentless attacks, Hanagibu declares that there is not a chance in hell that someone like Konchime would be able to pull that off. Hanagibu goes on to say that Konchime doesn't know how a bird flaps its wings, or how a feline quadruped is supposed to run. As he says this, we see the panels of the wing and hind leg movements that Hanagibu had caught glimpses of earlier, meaning that Hanagibu was noticing Konchime incorrectly maneuvering Hylos and Gozer's bodies in ways that were unnatural for their anatomy. Hanagibu continues, telling Konchime that he'll never be able to move how he pleases with the body he's hijacked just a few moments prior, and that it won't be long before Konchime is exposed as the fraud he is. Hanagibu declares that Konchime is using his one brain to control 2 different species of beasts simultaneously is completely impossible. Levi attacks once more, and Hanagibu is shocked to see that Gozer and Hylos are managing to fend off every one of Levi's rapid strikes. Despite Hanagibu's declaration, Konchime is able to control 2 separate entities using his single brain. Hanagibu asks how Konchime is able to exercise such perfect control and wonders what could be going on inside Konchime's head. As Konchime continues to control Gozer and Hylos, blocking all of Levi's attacks with extreme precision, Konchime internally asks Hanagibu, doesn't he know? He has a special kind of brain, a brain that can even control the power of Shin Poruku. So, pausing right here for now, can I just say Hanage-boo is a bit of a hater. But going back a little bit, I love the mention of Dima Baruku here and them reusing a panel from the original series here. I'm looking at it and like, hey, I'm like, oh hey, I remember that. I was there for that. Yeah. Me looking at Kid Kanchime and being like, wow, wouldn't it be cool if we had a prequel series that explored what Gash and his friends were like as kids and participating in the battle to decide king?
I know, I wish we got to see that.
Yeah. Too bad we didn't. Oh well.
I know.
Anyways. But okay, like, it's honestly really neat seeing Fulgore think back to how their previous spell had worked and just how much different this one is in comparison to Dima Baruku, where he says that, like, the clones that Kanchime created while they had free will are only able to follow simple instructions, but in here, he has, like, total control over Hylos and Gozer. Like, again, as emphasized different times here, like, two completely different entities that, you know, Kanchime didn't even create, but rather he took control of. Like, it's crazy. Again, like, I mentioned this already, but it's, like, it's crazy, like, how complex and how much stuff is, how much is really going on with this spell. It's, like, I'm just so fascinated.
I know, and this is all still within the 50 seconds. Like, all of this extra shit is still within the 50 seconds. Like, that's extra crazy. Shit. I mean, like, that's just, like, I was floored that, like, the first half of the stuff was already within the 50 seconds, and now there's, like, so much new stuff, and this is all still within their 50 seconds of this power. Is just, like, it's really crazy to keep that in mind as you're reading the rest of this, because it's just like, that's just so crazy. And like the way that Hanage-boo is also able to clock all of this stuff of like, you're not using like Hylos' wings properly, and you're not using Gozer's hind legs properly or whatever. The way he's able to pick up on all that super quickly is like honestly kind of just as impressive as what Kanchime's doing in the first place, because like I would still be like, wait, whoa, hold on, what's happening? And so for Hanage-boo to be like, you're using their wings wrong, and like you're using the legs wrong, and it's just like, oh my god, like you can see that? Like it's just crazy.
I love the voice he did for that. Hanage-boo is clocking in, he's calling him out, he's saying, you're a fraud, you're this, you're doing everything wrong, and it's like...
I know. And then it's funny, because despite all of that, Kanchime is still able to block all of the different attacks, and he's like, I have a special kind of brain. Like, yeah, you do!
Kanchime is playing 4D chess on everyone here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like... Oh my goodness, I absolutely love how locked in Kanchime is on this page, where he's using both Hylos and Gozer to perfectly, like, deflect, like, this barrage of attacks, and the way that, like, Shin Baruku is also referenced here, like, the way that he's even able to do this is because of how he had, been able to have complete control over Shin Baruku too. Like, I just really love seeing that connection here, and it's, like...
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like, it's so... It's crazy, like...
Yeah, it just, like, ties everything together. Like, I love when they make references to things that we read in, like, the original series and everything. Like, I just really, really like that, because it ties everything together and just brings everything... It just makes, like, the continuity that much stronger, I feel like, when they are, like, actively referring to things we saw or know about from the original series. It's just like really, really cool when Raikou like throws those moments in there in the sequel chapters like this.
Exactly. Again, I'm just, like, looking at the pages again still. Again, I cannot say more than enough how scary a lot of Levy's attacks are. Like, again...
And he tells her to go faster. I'm like, sir, no, slow down, please. She's already going so fast. Like, we don't need to go faster. You're fine.
And she's out here, saying, like, give me more tendrils and shit. I'm like, no, give her less of that.
I know. I'm like, actually, let's take some away. Let's see how that goes.
Exactly, dude. Like,
Belial would not want me as a sorcerer in his forces, because like the card would be like, Pinna, use this spell or whatever. I'm just like, how about we like call it a day? You know, like let's just say let's just say they got away, and we'll just try again next time. But like, literally, Belial would not want me on his side. That's for sure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, like, shit is chaotic here, and oh my goodness, again, like, this was like so crazy to go through the first time, and it's still so crazy to like process everything again now. Like, oh my goodness.
I know, and it's so wild too, because like at the start of this chapter, or even like the start of the previous chapter, it's like we go into it not knowing like how is anything, like how is this going to be resolved, like, and so it's like to see like it, because in my head every time we like start one of the new fights and everything in the sequel, I'm just like, I'm not sure how many chapters it's going to last. I'm not sure, you know, what is going to be pulled. Obviously, like, we're not supposed to know, but it's just, like, so crazy thinking, like, this is where we are in the battle now compared to the beginning of the chapter where I was like, well, they're shit out of luck. Can't show me he's going to die. And, like, that's so not what's happening here. It's just, like, it's just really crazy to see how it all ends up actually playing out.
Yeah, with each of these fights, I'm like, things have to be resolved in some way at the end of it, regardless of how many chapters it takes. Like, this is like, you know, things will, you know, they'll figure something out, but I'm like, okay, how?
Yeah, it's like we know, like, we have a feeling that, like, it's going to, you know, end up in their favor, but it's like, how exactly is that going to happen when this, like, 7-foot antelope snake bear monster is, you know, growing 20 tails, all with sharp teeth? Like, how are we gonna win this? And so it's just crazy to see that actually like play out.
It really how difficult it is to try and like anticipate what even happens in this fight just really makes it like very exciting to like go through.
I know.
You know, I've seen, you know, other series and stuff too, you know, the like different fights and stuff happen, but like I really love the unpredictability of the way that like Raikou handles fights in this series.
Seriously, like anyone can show up, any new thing can happen,
exactly.
like anything. It's just, it's so like nothing is off the table. And it's also just like, it's crazy to think about like what it must have been like on the creative side of things, like from Raikou's perspective, like how does he come up with the resolutions to these battles? Like how like how does he choreograph all of these, like what is going to happen throughout this fight? Like just even having to be able to come up with that, like I mean, and so many times too, because like just throughout the original series, like I mean all the battles that happened there, and then now with the sequel, all these battles, like he has to keep coming up with like new and exciting and unexpected ways for these battles to play out. And the fact that he does and like manages to do that every single time is just like, I mean, so commendable. Because like, how do you keep it fresh like that after so many times having to do it? But like he does do it so well every single time.
No, exactly. Again, I cannot emphasize just how much I really love how Raikou handles the fights. Again, the unexpectedness of things, like something totally unexpected suddenly occurring in the fight and seeing how that affects things. It's just like, it's a level of like unpredictability that I don't really like see as often in like other series, other shonens, like other fight scenes stuff. Like something like Raikou knows what he's doing. He is cooking. I love it. I'm having a great time going through it.
Seriously.
But oh my goodness, speaking of going through things, let's go through and see how things progress from here.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, so Levi's rocky transformation begins to crumble away as she yells, and Gozer and Hylos continue swiping away at her attacks. The fanged heads of her tendrils crumble away, and Hanagebu thinks to himself how Levi's time is almost up as her power is starting to erode and her body is breaking down. Levi sits up on the ground, and Gozer and Hylos are on her legs, staring directly at her. She pauses and notices that they haven't moved. She asks Konjiki why he isn't attacking her, and he asks Levi, "Isn't it obvious?" and tells her it's because these kids, referring to Gozer and Hylos, don't want to hurt her, and we see Gozer and Hylos crying as they look at Levi. Conchime tells Levy that he may be able to control them, but that he won't force them to do anything they really don't want to do. This catches Levy and Hanagibu off guard. Conchime tells Levy for them to all stop fighting, as he can tell her family means everything to her. As Levy further crumbles apart, she repeats that Conchime is such a good boy. She says that it looks like he's won, and that now her body will be consumed by Daruku, and she will be left to rot. However, the power attached to Levy begins twitching, and then attacks the talisman that Hanagibu had attached to the back of Levy's head. Levy hears Hanagibu scream in pain and sees his body is turning into various tendrils that are bursting out of him, and he tells her that he is having his body take her place as the body that needed to be offered to the spell's power as tribute. He explains that that's the reason why he had used his hair as the talisman. He tells her that he doesn't care if his life is cut short and that all he wants is to support her in any way he can. As he implodes, he tells her to promise him to spend a little more time with her family in the years she has left, and that it's time she finally knew what it means to be happy. And with that, Hanagibu disappears as the Daruku power is destroyed along with him. Levy, now back in her original form, looks at where Hanagibu had just been. Fulgore tells Conchime that he used up all his heart energy, and Conchime says okay. Fulgore closes the book and ends the spell, and Conchime's body, as well as Gozer and Hylos, return to their original forms as well. Levy greets Gozer and Hylos as she gently places a hand under Gozer's chin, where he then licks her face. Then, a bullet out of nowhere hits Gozer, scaring and angering Levy as he howls out in pain. Conchime turns and sees, to his surprise, several armed police officers were positioned a ways away, all armed and pointing weapons directly at all of them. Conchime yells at them to wait, telling them not to shoot, saying that they're only just kids. Levy, enraged, yells at the armed soldiers, exclaiming that even in this world there are still monsters like them. Their commander yells fire, and they all begin to shoot at Gozer and Hylos. The bullets are darting toward Levy, Gozer, and Hylos, but just then, Kiyomaru casts Rashirdo, and the shield erects in front of Levy, Gozer, and Hylos. The bullets all hit the shield, and we see Gash's hands in their new L formation, and he raises them upward. The electrified bullets deflect off of Rashirdo and shoot off upwards into the sky, revealing yet another new way Gash is able to use Rashirdo now. Conchime trembles and cries as he watches Rashirdo disappear, and Fulgore begins to tear up as well. Conchime turns his head to see that over by one of the buildings in the distance are Gash and Kiyomaru, and upon seeing them, he begins to sob tears of joy. And with that, that concludes Chapter 11.
Beautiful.
So, oh my goodness. I want to start off first by saying, like, this page showing both Hylos and Gozer right in front of Levy is so sweet, honestly. Like, seeing how they're both crying as they're looking at her, and Conchime explaining to her that they don't want to fight her, and how he wouldn't make them do something that they don't want to. Like, it would have been so easy for him to just finish her off now that she's essentially defeated, but I just love how Conchime is just so empathetic and caring despite what he's been put through by them, and he still wants to do the right thing. And I think this just really shows just how much he had grown since the original series and how consistent this growth is. Like, I think back a lot to that battle against Gorm and Mir. Like, during that, Conchime finally had become strong enough to really hold his own in battle, but him having this kind of power quite literally turned him into this violent monster who felt justified and viciously punishing Gorm and Mir for the wrongdoings. Like, he finally felt in control of things after harboring so much guilt for not being strong enough to protect those he cared about. But here in the sequel, though, things go beyond the demon battle. Like, there's this great big otherworldly threat, and actual lives are being taken by it. Like, he was quite literally back at square one again, like, having his powers taken away. But on top of that, his friends and family are all gone, and now he's being hunted down, all while trying so hard to keep his baby brother safe. Despite so much trauma and hardship he's going through, and despite obtaining a power that finally puts him in literal control again, like, he is choosing to be merciful. Like, Levi, Gozer, and Hylos have done nothing but caused him harm, but even when he's put into a position to do whatever he wants to them all, like, he just wants them to be together and just be happy as this little family, because Levi cares so much about Hylos and Gozer, and they feel the exact same way with her, and it's just one big nice moment here. It's so sweet.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like, literally the stakes were so much higher than they were in the Gorm fight, and this spell is so much more powerful than Shin Puruku in a lot of ways, and the fact that he had that much power and the stakes were that much higher, and he still chose, like, the merciful route, like you said, like, is just, like, that speaks so much to Kanchome's character and his growth, like...
Yeah.
That's, oh God, it's just so good. And then also this kind of, like, reveals that, like, when he was controlling Gozer and Hylos, like, in the beginning half of this chapter, that while he was still controlling them, it was still something that Gozer and Hylos wanted to happen also, because he said he wouldn't have them do anything they didn't want to do. Which means that everything he's having with them stopping the attacks and everything, it's all stuff that they did want to happen as well. Kanchome was just kind of like, you know, helping them make it happen, essentially. And it's just like, I love this.
I love Kanchome. Like, he is such a great character.
He is.
Like you brought up before, it's, like, easy to just, like, just mainly view Kanchome as, like, the gag relief character or whatever. But, like, it's moments like this that, like, remind me of just, like, how great of a character he is, like, how empathetic he is. Like, it's just so good.
Yeah.
But nice moment aside, I couldn't believe that we had to see Hanagebu literally go out like this.
I know.
I was, like, in shock. Like, he literally imploded. Like, what the fuck?
I know, after becoming, like, a weird tentacle, like, thing, and then just, like, poof, gone. Like, it's just... And it's so crazy, too, because, like, I mean, in the previous chapter, when he puts the talisman on Levi, like, I remember when the chapter first came out and I was reading that, I didn't really think much of that. I just kind of thought it was their way of doing what happened with Weigen Gil, and so I was like, oh, okay, so after this, Levi's gonna die. And then when we got to the end of this chapter... like, we learned that because of what Hanagebu did in the previous chapter, that was him making himself the cost and the sacrifice for Levi's power. So he was, like, imbuing Levi with the power, but he was taking the responsibility of, like, having to die after that. And the fact that he did that for her, like... is just, like, they have a bond that Weigen Gil did not, very clearly. Like,
absolutely. Gil would not fucking do this for Weig.
And he didn't. Like, he was like, damn, that sucks, bye, Weig. And, like, like, that was fully, like, that was it for them.
Gil
but,
was like, okay, spirits or whatever, take Weig's life as sacrifice. You have my full permission for that. Like,
yeah, he's like, all right, if I must, you can have him. Like, that was their vibe.
It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
exactly. But then with Hanagebu, he's like, I want you to enjoy, like, the few years you have left or whatever with, like, you and your family and everything. Like, I want to see you happy. And just the way that Hanagebu cares about Levi like that is just so touching. And, like, I mean, I don't know if there's a way for him to come back or something, but I really hope they can somehow find a way to save him.
He has
I don't know,
such
just
a solid
like
design,
Syphogio or him or something. I don't know. Like,
he has too good of a design to be thrown away like this. Like, come on.
I know.
Docking points from Raikou for this.
Yeah, but it was really sweet to see how much he cared about Levi. Enough to literally sacrifice his own life for this.
Yeah. Like,
oh my goodness.
I was gonna say too, like, this makes me curious to know more about them. Like, Hanagebu clearly knows quite a bit about Levi to be willing to sacrifice his life for her. So So, like, what even is their whole story? And, you know, like as you're bringing up, like, this is all nice, but it also just further emphasizes just how tragic the circumstances they're in. Like,
I know.
We already got hints from Belial that some of these people had been brought back to life to serve him in his schemes, and it just shows, like, just how, like, them even hunting down demons and all that really isn't what, like, they sought out to do, but it's just something that they kind of have to do now that they're brought back. And that also comes with, like, how as soon as they use this kind of sorcery power, someone has to pay the price for it. Like the thing about like requiring, like, a sacrifice and all that, like,
yeah.
like, kind of scary.
Yeah, like, they're brought back to life to die again? Like, what are we, why, like, what is, like, Belial, it's so clear with this, like, setup and this, like, being the cost of their power and everything, that, like, Belial literally, like, there's no regard for their lives, their feelings, or anything. They are literally just pawns to him, because he is okay bringing them back to life when they should already be dead. I mean, I guess we don't know their backstories. Maybe they shouldn't have been dead in the first place, but who knows? But if they just, like, passed on naturally or something, and he's just, like, reviving these people who should just be have, like, you know, passed and everything. But if he's bringing them back and then, like, just for them to have to experience death and loss again and everything when they should have already been at rest, like, and he just doesn't care. Like, I don't know, couldn't you find people already alive to fight with you? Like, why do you have to revive them and then make them die again? Like,
It's crazy. Like, shit is, like, happening in this series.
Literally.
I was gonna say, too, like, it's so... Like, Levy's animal beasts very clearly mean a great deal to her. Like, especially as we had seen in that one flashback page showing her, like, bloodied and standing against these soldiers pointing their weapons at her. And while it's certainly, like, good that she's, like, even able to see them again, it's not exactly a circumstance where she could really enjoy that. And if Hanagebu didn't give up his life here, then her life would have ended right there instead. But also, like, I can't help but feel that even though, like, she and her animal beasts are okay again now, I feel like her time is very limited once again. But, you know, thanks to Hanagebu, she is at least given a little more time to be with them and be happy a little longer as he wants her to be. Like, it's so bittersweet, honestly. But Hanagebu is the realest one of them all. Like, it's a major tragedy to see him go because he had such a cool design, but I guess good things can't last forever here. That is how it is in the sequel.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy too for him to be like spend a little more time, like, in the years you have left. I'm like, years? Like, with Belial watching all these fights and shit, like, I'm surprised. I'm like, Levy has minutes maybe, like, before Belial steps in and potentially kills her too. Like, we have no idea. Like, it's a bold claim to assume that she has years left, but I mean, hopefully. But I mean, with the way Belial just, like, snaps his fingers and people die and shit, I'm just like, I don't think she has years, but, you know, we can hope, I guess.
Exactly. Like, oh my goodness. But I'm still looking at the page where he's, like, imploding and shit. Like, it's so painful to look at. Like, just his flesh contorting and twisting like that. Like, holy shit. Like, there's honestly
a lot of body horror stuff in the sequel. Like, it's kind of, it's like, it's not going unnoticed, that's for sure.
Yeah! Body horror is right. Like, Jesus Christ, what even is this?
Yeah.
My favorite thing in Zatch Bell.
Yeah, and, like, I mean, I don't need to see this animated. Like, it's okay.
We don't need an anime of this series.
We don't. I don't need to see these tentacles moving. Like, I'm fine.
No. Oh, I'm picturing it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm already uncomfortable enough with just the panel of it. Like, we're fine. Like, this is doing just fine as a manga. We don't need this animated.
We don't need this animated.
I'm taking that stance now. Mark my words.
I know this episode's in the future, but imagine in, like, the next episode or whatever, you're like, we should get an anime of the sequel or something. I mean, contradicting.
I mean, like for the record, I would be so on board with anything that happens with this series, like so fully. But I mean, yeah, but joking wise, we don't need an anime. It's fine.
I'm going into like the anime acting like I don't know what even happens next, despite us being, like pretty ahead of things.
I know. I'm like, oh my god, who's this redhead girl running through the dark like this? What is this?
What is this? But oh my goodness, like, okay, aside from like Hanagibu exploding and all that, like I love the page where Levi is just with Gozer and Hylos and we see Gozer lick her face.
I know,
it's
his
so
big
cute.
old tongue, his just big round tongue is like the size of her head, and he's just like, no, like it's just so good.
It's so cute, like
it's so cute. Seeing them like, seeing them like so just pet like.
Yeah, very docile now.
Yeah, not just monsters like they were when we first met them and everything. Just seeing them so just at peace with her is really nice. For the one panel we get to see that.
Yeah, for real. Like, oh my goodness, it's so easy to assume when first being introduced to Levi and seeing Gozer and Hylos that they're just nothing more than like these wild animals that she uses and orders around to attack. And so it's just so sweet how they're referenced as her family, and we just see how much they really love her.
Like Kanjami calls them her kids. Like it's so endearing.
Yeah, like this is such a really sweet page. I'm glad the chapter ends here.
Yeah,
and nothing
it really
else
is.
happens.
Bam! A bullet came in.
God fucking damn it! Like,
I know.
Like this was like that shit was like an actual jaw drop moment. I was
so
fuck
pissed.
Shot Gozer.
I was so pissed. Like all the shit that happens in the first series, and like no one ever intervened, and so now all of a sudden, like La Polizia are here.
Oh my god. Yeah, they sure are.
I'm so mad about it. Like, who invited them? We don't need your help. The battle is over.
Oh my goodness. Like you said, we rarely saw police or military show up in the original series, but I was certainly not excited to see them show up here. I was losing my goddamn mind at all this. I'm like, what the fuck?
I know. I was so mad. Like, I mean, I hate in movies or shows or whatever when there is something like the main characters find something supernatural or magical or whatever, and there is a plot point of like the government or the police or the military or whatever intervening and like taking the thing they find or whatever, and they're always doing like the wrong thing. They're like capturing it or like putting it through like tests or whatever when it's just an innocent like alien or something. Like, I hate that plot point, and so the fact that we have to deal with this now in Zatch Bell 2 is just like so annoying to me, because like they don't know what they're doing, they don't know what they're like, they don't know what they're attacking, they don't know the situation, they have no context for anything, they're doing the wrong thing, like the duck man is telling them to stop and they're still attacking. It's so infuriating. Like my blood is boiling looking at these panels. I'm so pissed.
We were all like dogging on these fucking cops when we're discussing it for the first time. Like, why the fuck are the police here?
I know. Like, I mean, because don't we see like cop cars or something driving in like a previous chapter or something, right? Like going to this scene or something. Like,
I think so. I think there was like a panel or something showing that, but like,
yeah. So I was hoping nothing was going to come of that.
That was like foreshadowing for this. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't agree with this.
Yeah. Oh god. I hate it so much. And the fact that Kanjami is literally like, please, like stop. Like they're just kids. Like we're done. We're done fighting. Like stop it. And then the commander like hears that and is like, fire! Like what? Hello? What is this? Why are we doing this? No one invited you.
The one time we get like actual real police interference.
I know. Like, they did nothing when Faudo was here, but now at a hospital in Milan, they're gonna intervene and shoot a bear dog thing.
They didn't do anything whenever there's, like, demon fights happening in the city or anything like that.
Yeah, they're just
like you didn't see, like, cop cars pull up when, like, I don't know, Gash and Patty are fighting in an empty swimming pool of, like, Kyo's middle school. You didn't see that shit, you know?
I know, like, you didn't, like, no one showed up when Fane caused, like, a fucking hurricane or whatever, right, on a taxi cab.
He, blew up a fucking sidewalk or whatever.
Yeah, and, like, no one showed up for that, but no, let's go attack the bird and dog thing that are not attacking anyone anymore. Like, the battle is over. You showed up at the end. We do not need you here. I'm so mad. I'm so heated.
Oh my goodness, like, again, I'm just going through my mind. Every single instance there was a demon battle in a city and nothing happened.
Like, the fight at the park when Patty brings back, like, the ancient demons and everything, that was, like, an intense, like, massacre almost before Tio and Megumi showed up, and no one was there. Like, no one showed up to...
The time that Sugina, like, you know, held a bunch of people hostage at, like, the botanical garden and shit, nothing happened there.
Yeah, like, the only time we see them is, like, the normal human bank robbery situation at the very beginning of, like, the original series, and, like, that's it. They don't intervene with any of the demon stuff. Like, that's it. And then now all of a sudden, why are we doing this? Why are they here?
Zatch Bell is an experience.
Like, I just don't, like, just from a like, I don't know, from a narrative standpoint, it doesn't make sense to me that, like, throughout the entire original series, Raikou, like, never really addressed, like, civilians or like, outside, like, people who outside of the situation of the battles. He never really addressed any of them, like, acknowledging any of the battles, really. He kind of just kept it, you know, contained to whoever is involved in the battles and, you know, their thing, and didn't really deal with any outside interference. And so it's like, it's kind of just, like, confusing to me why all of a sudden, like, and it makes sense in the sense of, like, if this were happening in real life, yes, there would be interference like this or some type of, like, thing like this. But the fact that this never happened in the series before and now all of a sudden it is happening, it just felt so out of place to me.
Listen,
like, I wasn't,
listen.
No,
this is a post-fantasy series or whatever where police only sometimes get involved in the battles.
I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it. I never asked for this. I like the first series because there is none of this.
Konjiki, no cops.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness, but I was at least happy to see that Gash and Kiyomaru pulled up just in time, and they popped up Shield, you know, to protect everyone from all those bullets.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness, but I also love seeing how Gash was able to redirect everything too, just by, like, re-angling the shield. Like, that's really cool. I like that detail.
I know, the fact that there's an additional thing he can do with Rashield now too, like, is just like, you never would have expected it, because, like, I kind of thought the hand thing was, like, the new thing, but the fact that there's, like, another, like, that's the thing that I love so much about getting to see these, like, spells we're familiar with, but now in the sequel, because, like, they all have, like, additional layers to them, I feel like, yeah. Or at least a lot of them do. Like, it's just like, it's just so cool to see how they've grown over time with the demons that are using them. Like, I love it so much.
Seriously, like, it's just so cool. And oh my goodness, I just love the way that Consume's expression was drawn on, like, the final page here. He's like, he's literally shaking and crying. He's so relieved to see Gash and Kiyomaru again. Like, he was convinced earlier that Gash was gone, but here he is to help him just in time. Like, oh my goodness, like,
I know, like, his mouth is so wobbly, like, he's so happy.
So wobbly, and oh my goodness, like, I could feel it, like, yeah, this was, like, such a perfect page to end it on, just seeing them finally show up, which means that, you know, we'd get some sort of reunion moment next chapter with them, and I was so excited for that, and just, you know, wondering what even happens from here too. Like, I know that we still have a bonus chapter to check out for our next video, but like, this is still pretty much the end of Volume 2, and it was honestly really solid. Like, I was so excited to see how the first chapter of Volume 3 was gonna be, you know, after the bonus chapter for Volume 2. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I love to, like, the a few a page or two before, when we see, like, even Fulgoria is like tearing up at seeing Kiyomaru and Gash. Like, I just love their response to seeing Kiyomaru and Gash. Like, just the love that is, like, the love and relief that is there when they show up is just so beautiful to see. I love how it's depicted here.
It really is. Like, oh my goodness, like, solid end to the chapter aside from all the police bullshit. Like, this was really good. Like,
yeah,
I can't believe, like, this was like the end of Volume 2 too. I completely forgot, because again, we're recording in the future. I kind of forgot what chapter specifically Volume 2 ended on, but this was like the last chapter aside from the bonus chapter. Like, crazy.
Yeah. No, I know. And it's like, I know we're still not done with this situation, but I remember when this chapter happened, in my head, I was basically like, okay, well, so this battle's basically over, so does that mean Tio is next or what? Like, I was already like,
yeah.
That was already like my thought process, because I mean, remember, I was expecting her to be the second demon to show up, and since she wasn't, the whole time, while I was very much enjoying all of these chapters, don't get me wrong, I was like, does that mean Tio is next, or... And so, like, we're closer to getting the answer to that.
Oh my goodness, like, Volume 3 is right on the horizon, and we couldn't wait to, like, find out what happens in that one, but oh my goodness. But for now, I think with all that, I think that just about wraps up this video, and pretty much Volume 2 in general, unless there's any final thoughts you wanted to bring up.
Actually, this is totally just an observation that I literally made. I just noticed after Mopuruku ends, like, and Kentame goes back to his, like, regular self, he has his bandages again. Like, he didn't have them for the spell, but, like, they're back on his head and arms and stuff.
I didn't know.
I have nothing to say to that. I just noticed it now, and I was like, wow, huh.
I mean, we didn't notice, like, the ambulance van earlier, so that was worth pointing out too. I didn't notice this detail either. I was like, huh, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, nice of Mopuruku to keep those intact, I guess.
The spell does it all, honestly.
It really does.
But, oh my goodness. So,
wow.
I think that officially does it for us. So, thank you guys so much for watching this. We really hope you enjoyed this one. And we also hope you'll join us for our second intermission video that will be uploaded next before we dive into Volume 3 territory. Like, we'll be taking a step back and have a little discussion about Volume 2 overall and all the new stuff that came out with Volume 2's release, such as the front and back cover illustrations, as well as our first Gash Cafe chapter for the sequel.
Yes, no more llamas. We're free.
We're actually gonna, the next bonus chapter is gonna be the 102 llamas that were swept away. So I hope you guys are really excited for that
damn
one.
It. Oh my god.
But oh my goodness, like, so happy to see the return of Gash Cafe, and if you haven't seen any Gash Cafe chapters before in the original series, then you're in for something pretty fun.
Definitely.
In addition to all that, we'll also be down to respond to any comments or questions you guys might have for us, so please feel free to leave any of those down below as well. We're always very excited to see what you guys think of these chapters, any theories you might have for it, or questions you might have for either of us, or just any thoughts on the sequel as a whole. You know, did you enjoy what Volume 2 had to offer, or did you have any theories on stuff at the time, or have anything you really want to see happen? Let us know if you got any takes for us. And
on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you miss Hanage-boo?
I'm on a 12 on that scale.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, like Dev said, you can, in the comments below of this video, or I mean any of our other videos, or you can also, reply on Twitter at the fourth spell, or Dev's Twitter at DevDale. I'll throw those all up on screen and in our description for this video and everything.
Absolutely.
And we will, respond to, as many as we're able to for the intermission video, and it'll be a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. We cannot wait to get into all that. But for now, thank you again so much for watching, and we hope to see you in our next video. Until then, take care for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.